Today we're doing a what's in my camera bag kind of piece. This time the focus is going to be more towards the video production style, in particular the solo shoot documentary. The reason why I do a lot more solo shoot documentaries these days is strictly budget. It's harder to come across the budgets where you can afford to bring in all the pro guys for all the different shoots. So a lot of times you've got to be a bit of a jack of all trades and get your sound, get your visuals, get your drone, all that kind of stuff done yourself if you want to meet the budgets that are on hand. Now, if you do have a budget, I highly recommend that you go out there and get the crew, because it's always better to work with professionals from certain specific fields. Like, you don't want to be doing the sound by yourself if you have someone who's amazing at sound on hand and you can afford to bring them in. So definitely don't slink if you've got the budget, but for most of us that are working on sort of skeleton budgets for documentary shoots, this is a little rundown of what I put in my camera bag. Now, this kit that I have out in front of me now is just a basic rundown of some of the things I have in it. It's pretty much what I took with me for my last documentary shoot, which was for A Line in the Sand, and you can check out that documentary right here at this link. Highly recommend taking a look at that. It's a really cool documentary that we put together to try to save a beach in Amami Island in Japan. It's one of the last 3 unconcreted sort of beachside villages in all of Japan. So it's a story that is definitely worth taking a look at if you've got a spare 28 minutes. Highly appreciate that. But back to the video at hand. So when I'm carrying all my gear, a lot of the times I don't want to be carrying multiple bags. I like to be able to move around, stay mobile. So what I do is I use this Mindshift Gear backlight 36 liter. Now this is a really good go anywhere active backpack. It's got a great lumbar support, it's really comfortable. You can check out my full review of that video by clicking this video here. I won't go into full details about that today, but what I will tell you is it's more than enough to carry all the gear I need with me on any shoot that I've been on to date. Now the gear that goes inside, the reason why I'm able to use this backpack is my main camera for shooting with, which most people will be interested in, and that is the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. I'm not going to go into why the 4K or the 6K, but I shoot with the 4K. And since I'm a Nikon shooter, I use the Metabone Speed Booster, and this is the XL 0.064 times, which reduces that crop factor quite a bit and allows me to get a much wider field of view on my wide-end lenses, as well as opening up a little bit extra light, so I'm getting a little bit more shallower depth of field as well to keep that cinematic look. This camera is a godsend for shooting on location because of its compact form factor. Also, just the quality of footage that you can get out of such a small unit here is amazing. Now for that, the drawback a lot of people talk about is battery life. And it is true, it does churn through the batteries quite a bit, especially in colder environments. But you can use these inexpensive Canon batteries, the LP6 I think they're called. And I usually carry about 9 of those with me at all times. Basically 9 batteries will get me through a full day of shooting, unless I'm in like extreme cold, then I'm not going to be shooting full day anyway. As for a charger, I just use this little RAV Power thing I picked off Amazon. I've got a couple of these. They're USB, they charge through the USB port, so you can hook them straight into your iPhone charger. You can hook them into, like a larger V-mount battery if that's what you want, or a battery charger of different sorts. So it just gives you a bit of versatility, and you can charge 2 batteries up on that unit. So I have 2 of those, which means I can have 4 batteries on charge at any given moment. So that's the camera side as far as video goes. I also like to take with me a still camera. This is my Nikon D750. This multi-purpose one, I might just want to shoot some photos, some stills, to go along with the video, but also I use this a lot for time-lapse photography. I much prefer this than the Blackmagic, which can also do time-lapse, but it limits me to the quality of the DNG RAWs. The RAW I'm getting out of these Nikon cameras is unbelievable. It's closer to 8K. It gives me a lot more versatility when I want to play with it in post. And in general, I'm just a little bit happier because the battery life will last longer. So I can set this up, let it run, let it shoot that an entire sequence while I'm out shooting other shots with my Blackmagic. And in combination with that, I tend to use this. This is the Syrup Mini Genie Mini. So it's just a little hockey puck thing. All this does is it's a time-lapse, interval-timed panning head that you can put on your tripod, and it will just automatically turn the camera, take a photo, turn the camera, take a photo, and you can set that up to pan. Just adds a little bit of a dynamic to the shot. Now I have other products that I use from Syrup. I have their large slider, the Magic Carpet. I also have the Genie itself, which in combination with this, the slider gives you this really cool kind of 3-axis sliding ability. But for most of these shoots, it's just a little bit too bulky to carry around with me. So I just tend to keep the hockey puck in there, sorry, the Mini in there with me. And that's usually for my time-lapse setup. And finally, on the camera front, the third camera I'll carry with me, of course, is just a little GoPro. This is the Hero 5 Black. It's all I need at the moment. I'll maybe be updating that soon to the 8, but for the time being, it works really well. And this is just great for getting shots maybe in the water, in bad weather, you know, places where it's just a little bit harder to get my other camera set up. It's also really good if you're doing a little bit of vlogging, a little bit behind the scenes, all that kind of stuff. So this is a really versatile little camera to keep with you. I don't use it as much because of the grading compatibility with, say, the Blackmagic. It doesn't look as good, so I tend to use it for just, you know, specific shots where you need it. But it's always good to have that kind of action cam on hand. Lenses. Now, with lenses, I tend to be pretty light. Now, it just depends on what I'm shooting. I'll always carry with me my 17-35 2.8. This is an older, heavier lens, but it's incredibly sharp and beautiful. And I love the way this looks on the Blackmagic. It also looks great for time lapses on the D750. A little nifty 50. This is a Nikon 50mm 1.8. This is great as well for those low light situations. Also, when it's on the Blackmagic, it gives you closer to that 85mm, which is perfect for interviews. So I do really enjoy the look of this lens for shooting interviews, especially if it's a little bit lacking in light. And I usually carry, this is my Tamron 70-200 2.8 version 2. And this is really good for getting more distant shots, action shots, when you want to get that compression in your shot. It's also, I use it sometimes for interviews, just to really compress the background and really bring things out. But in general, this will be getting more of my action, sort of long distance shot stuff, wildlife shots, things like that. Now, on rare occasions, I will take with me the 150-600 by Tamron as well. That just depends on the shoot. So if I'm shooting something where I know I'm going to have to be at a distance from the subject and I want to get nice and close, I will jump in and grab that lens as well, because on this camera it turns it into quite a long sort of focal range. So that can be really good, but the trade-off is it's a lot heavier lens, it's a lot larger lens, it uses a lot more real estate up in my pack. So if I can, I avoid using that. For stability, lately I've been using this. This is the Manfrotto B Live tripod. And it's incredibly light, incredibly compact, and surprisingly strong. It's enough for using my Blackmagic and a 70-200 quite well. I can even, on occasions, manage it with the 600mm as long as there's not too much shake, if it's more of a static shot, but it does record quite well. And that's easy way around that too, is if you're shooting in slow motion, you can get rid of a little bit of that shake and then just add a little bit of post work to try to take that stability in post to try to pull that out even further. So I have used this with that setup. So for a tripod as light and compact as this, that fits really nicely into that pack, it does really well. It also comes up quite high. It's about eye height on me, so it's about a 5'10" tripod, or 5'9" or something like that when it's fully extended. So you do get quite a bit of travel, can get very low, and like I said, as you can see, it packs super light. Highly recommended that one. I will have a review coming out on that tripod soon. For aerial stuff, I have the Mavic 2 Pro. So I always carry this one with me. I keep this with a couple extra batteries. So that way, no matter where I go, I've got flight time as much as I need it. Those batteries also have an adapter, which is great for charging your phone. Mavic 2 Pro, I'm not going to go into too much detail about that because, well, you've all heard about it, I'm sure. For that camera though, I like to keep full set of filters. So I've got the 4 DJI filters. A lot of people say DGI, but DJI filters. It takes me from an ND4 through to a 32, and that's about all you could ever need while flying the drone. It gives you that silky smooth look, so you're not getting that jitter by changing your shutter speed too much. For the Blackmagic, I use this Cunny Optics IR filter because the IR suppression on the Blackmagics is not very good. It's almost non-existent, so I add a little extra IR filter on there, and I combine that with this really cool KF Concept filter that I've got here. Now this is a variable ND with a polarizer built in, with a circular polarizer, I should say. So on this filter here, you've got your variable ND, like that, and a circular polarizer. The optics are great, the color rendition is great. I've had no problems with it. Beautiful bit of kit, it's quite sturdily made, and I will be doing a review on that too because I'm very impressed with it, especially at the price point. And I picked that up on Amazon as well, so I highly recommend that. Otherwise, protection. I carry, in addition to the raincoat that's already comes along with the backlight, I also carry a much larger Southfield 45 to 65 litre raincoat, which will cover all around a lot more, and I can also even use that as a rain cover over me and my camera if I'm shooting and I suddenly start getting downpour. So that's really useful. And for my camera, I've got this really cool thing by Zekti. Again, picked this up with Amazon, and it is just a rain cover that my camera fits in like this. My hands can come in to control it, lens sticks out there, and I've got this huge plastic screen here so I can see everything that's going on especially on that Blackmagic with that big 5-inch back screen there. So I can see everything, I can touch everything, and it keeps everything nice and compact and dry. And that folds down super small, fits in this tiny little bag. So compact is always king when you're on the road. Extra memory cards, always carry extra memory cards. So I have a little wallet, that's from Think Tank, came with one of my older camera bags, and always have that full of memory cards. For sound, because you might have to do interviews, I use this setup here. This is the Rode little lavalier mic, and that just goes straight into an iPhone, and you record by putting the iPhone in the pocket, mic up here on the neck, on the shirt or whatever, and you'll get usable quality sound from that combination. Now, if you're a sound guy, you know that the iPhone compresses the crap out of your audio, so you're not really getting really good high quality like professional audio, but you are getting very usable audio, and that's where it comes down to. At the end, you have to start thinking about, is the audio going to stand up to what it needs to be? And yes, it does. Would it be better done by a professional? Absolutely. But for when you're on the road and you're doing something like that, that can be exactly what you need, and that's what I use, and it works really well. Okay, so look, that's pretty much what I carry with me for documentary shooting. You can basically see, this is the kit that I shot my last documentary, A Line in the Sand, on. Check that out if you're interested in seeing what was capable, what was produced with just this minimalistic kit. It's all there, and that was shot in some good weather and some adverse weather, and managed to capture some pretty interesting imagery for that documentary there. So definitely check that out. Hit the subscribe button, please. Just show the support there. Let me know what you think. I will drop links to what I bought in the description below as I find them. I'm not really an affiliate, so I don't really do that too much, but the links will be there. And most importantly, just get out there and start shooting, and look forward to seeing what you come up with. This is Adam L. Happy shooting.